All right. Hey, everyone. I'm talking to Trey Pemberton of Creeping Death, guitarist for Creeping Death. How are you doing, Trey?
Doing well, doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm on my lunch break, so so I'm like my work clothes. I ran home to do this. Um, yeah, it was just I'm looking forward to talking with you guys with Creeping Death. You guys got a new album coming out on June 16th, Boundless Domain.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I got that pre-ordered, so I'm super pumped for that.
Thank
And
you. I really appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. And then you guys just did a tour with Carcass, Municipal Waste, and Sacred Reich. Like
Yep.
yeah, how was that? And kind of like how was the crowd's response to you guys with the new material?
Oh, it was awesome. All we've toured with Carcass before, and they're some of our closest friends in music that we've met. We love all of them, all of their crew. Everyone else on the tour was amazing. We've played with Municipal Waste a couple times, so we were like, we're sort of acquainted with them, but actually being able to hang out with them and kick it was awesome. All those dudes are cool. And then Sacred Reich, we didn't know any of them beforehand, but all of them and their whole crew are awesome. They're like just rays of sunshine as human beings. So it's awesome. They're a lot of fun. We just had so much fun. And as far as the crowds go, it was dope. We played pretty early every single night. We started the set at 6:45, and by the time we'd be done, it was 7:15. But after our first tuning break, I would look up and the room is like pretty much full, and I'm just like, wow, like okay. I'm like every people are showing up early, like it's awesome. The responses, people were moshing. It was sick. It was a great tour. I'm really glad we were a part of it for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I know you guys play like a style that mixes like hardcore with death metal. I was curious about like kind of what you thought about like kind of like like moshing and like especially when hardcore bands play, and the moshing style is different from like a like a metal show.
Mhm.
Yeah, what do you think of like the different types of people who interact that way in during your set, like as far as the moshing?
Yeah, I would say honestly, I think most for the most part, like I think the people that are fans of us, like they know us before. I think they get it. On the headliner we did with 200 stab wounds, there was no issues, and I mean there was very obviously you knew who was like sort of a hardcore kid and who was sort of like a metalhead there, and it didn't really matter. I think on the bigger shows sometimes people don't know what to expect, so it kind of pisses some people off. But I always just tell people like, like a lot of people think that people are just like kicking and punching people in at hard shows, but it's actually like a lot more like choreographed than it looks. Like I know some kids are probably not athletic and not as coordinated, but for the most part, it's not like, at least in Dallas, like kids aren't really hurting each other too much. Like even if they like mosh on each other, it's more for like the style of it as opposed to the trying to hurt people. And I think on the outside looking in, yeah, it looks like kind of like crazy. But like being from like the inside, I just know it's like it's just a different like style. I've also seen people trampled in circle pits and whatnot and get some pretty gnarly injuries and take elbows from push pits and stuff like that too. So I just think the biggest thing is to be, and I mean, it doesn't really matter what kind, like even if it's at a strictly hardcore show, just like be, courteous of your fellow showgoers, and like if you're gonna partake in that, like not try to kill people. You know what I mean? Like I don't, I think it's a very small subset of type of kind of hardcore that people really try to kill people. I think most of the time it's really not like that. And if you're at, just have like situational awareness and like common sense. It's like if you're at a hardcore kid and you're at a more of a metal show, it's like maybe if you start doing stuff like that, people are probably going to get more annoyed with you. And then same with vice versa. If like you're at a hardcore show and you're there for only one metal band and someone, you accidentally get spin kicked, then like you kind of know what you should know what you're going into, like on the same tip. So you just kind of have to be like aware of the crowds and the lineups and of your own space as well. I think it's kind of like a multifaceted thing, because people mosh like assholes at every show. I've seen metal shows where people are moshing like assholes, just throwing people to the ground, knocking people to the ground for no fucking reason. So, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I've been to plenty of shows, and like once I start kind of getting the vibe that yeah, there's going to be like some people like yeah doing spin kicks and throwing elbows, I just get out of their way. Like there's I'm not going to try to like stand in their way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know that was kind of like a lot of there's a lot of like articles about that online, about like just like how when there's like a hardcore band and a metal band touring together, that there's like a kind of like just a bad experience for some people, especially with the moshing. But no, that's cool. I like the way you explained that about like just knowing the situational awareness. Going to last time I saw you guys was in Albuquerque with Carcass and Immolation. Unfortunately, it was like I think you guys had your trailer taken.
We got robbed. We got robbed big time. Yeah, we got it back though. Me and Lincoln hunted him down like fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter, bro. Like we got our shit back though. It's all good. The only thing we didn't get back, we actually got two things we're missing. The actual trailer, which U-Haul eventually found like ditched somewhere in the desert somewhere.
Oh my God.
And then Lincoln's the hard shell kick drum case for the kick drum. I'm guessing that they ditched that because they probably couldn't fit it in the cars, because though they were just like, fuck it, take the drum out, and then we'll just take the drum without the case, because they kept all the other cases. So
yeah, no, that sucked, man. Like
yeah.
I mean, like how did that like change the way you guys like do things on the road? Like or did anything ever happen like that before?
Big time. No, that's not. We were. I'm so glad that we got them. So like we have had air tags for I think a couple years prior to that. Just our friends were getting robbed, like left and right, like going out these places, and you can only have so much protection by having someone sleeping in the van. You know what I mean? Like, so we were like, yo, let's get these air tags. Like we need these just in case. And so yeah, they really came in handy. I wish they were the original air tags, because Apple had to like nerf them because people were dropping them in people's purses, and it used to ping constantly where you could always know where it is, but now it only updates every like 30 minutes or every hour or something like that, because people were dropping it in people's purses and like basically following them and trying to like kidnap and traffic them and stuff like that. So so they had to basically nerf the capability so it's not able to like update as much, which made it a little bit harder to track down, but it's still absolutely worth it. Like if you have some sort of tracking device or low jack that you can put with your belongings, because people will just take your shit. Like the people who took our stuff, like I saw a lot, we saw comments online and stuff like, oh, this is why you sleep in the van. It's like we did have someone sleeping in the van. Reese was in the van, and Reese woke up 90 seconds after they had gotten done taking it. They had taken it so fast, there was nothing that Reese could have done. And honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. Someone is willing to take a fully loaded trailer off of a hitch by themselves and drop it on another hitch, like I'm not trying. I don't want Reese to hop out and one-on-one that person. You know what I mean? Because obviously they're going to be outnumbered because someone is in the car and then someone is moving the trailer. So I would just say, I would tell Reese to let them take it, even if they caught them 90 seconds sooner. So so that was crazy. We were lucky enough to get our stuff back. And as far as things like how we operate now, we never stay in the city limits of any city anymore. We always drive outside of town, usually, anywhere from 30 minutes to hour, 2 hours. So one, we can get a little bit of a distance on the drive the next day. And then two, typically the hotels and stuff and the motels off of the highways and stuff like that, they're just for people who are traveling super long distances. You don't have people who are loitering there for long periods of time. So they're typically a little bit safer, knock on wood, of course. But yeah, so that's kind of like how we do it now. We don't fuck with staying in the city limits of anywhere, even if it's like
Oh yeah.
known as a nice place or city or whatever. And that's
Yeah,
as far
no,
as
that's
hotels
good.
go. If we're staying with like a friend or something like that in like a neighborhood, then it's like different, you know. But if we're in like a hotel, motel, like public sort of place like that, then yeah, we're going outside of town to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you often like run into like, people that or fans that offer you like a place to crash? Is that or is it kind
Oh
of like
yeah, yeah.
50-50?
We have homies that are all over the country, really. That for the usually somebody will let us crash if like there's certain places like we have our homie Joey in Toledo. So for like if we're crossing anywhere through the Midwest, outside of like Detroit, because Toledo is like 30 minutes outside of Detroit. So if we're coming from or to Chicago, from either direction, usually we have to go sort of in that area. So we try to stay with him if we can. And say Lincoln, our drummer, his aunt owns a B&B in Waterbury, Vermont. And every time we play Canada, or every time we play what is it, Montreal, we always pass through. You have to pass through Vermont to get to the border. So we always stay at her B&B and up there whenever we pass through that area. And we just have homies like out in places. Our friend Sky in Omaha always puts us up, and it's dead center in the middle of the country. So if we're doing the drive where we have to get from the Midwest, either Chicago or Minneapolis or something like that, to Denver, which is like usually the next spot, and there's usually an off day in between there. Then we go to Omaha and stay with Sky and hang out. So we just kind of do a little bit of both. Like if we know we're in a spot where we don't really know anybody, or our friends we do know don't have enough room, then we'll just get the hotels. But yeah, we try to stay with people as often as we can.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm in northern Arizona. I'm like kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like every time I've seen you guys, I always had to drive like 3, maybe 4 hours away.
Dang,
Yeah, it's always quite a
crazy.
distance. Yeah. Yeah, I'm closer to Albuquerque. I'm near Gallup, New Mexico. So yeah, it's kind of a drive for me if I want to go somewhere. Usually if it's on the weekend,
Oh yeah, we've
it's
been out
much
before.
better. Yeah. Yeah, it's just too much for me
Yeah,
on
we've
in the middle of the week.
it
But yeah,
must be crazy.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, the roads out here are pretty messed up. There's like huge potholes. They're kind of scary at night if you run into them.
Oof.
And then there's like cattle, a lot of like people with like livestock, like cattle, like just like will just
Uh,
sleep on the
uh,
road, and you gotta like if you're sleepy, you really gotta like watch out for that for
yeah,
like
I
animals on the
remember.
road.
I remember specifically on that tour where we played Flagstaff. We're coming down out of that area where it's like the Grand Canyon, like sort of park area, and it's sort of like um, I forget where what exactly what the town is. But you come into like that town outside after you just get done driving around all the mountains, and it was like pitch black. We were just getting done driving out of the fog and like really scared. And I remember we're driving and we're looking for like a bathroom, and we go to this place and it's like run by like a generator, and we're like, I don't think this is like the right spot. And then we're pulling out, and the next thing we know it's just like some like cattle, like we almost like smash into it. Like same thing. We were just like, oh my God, like swerve, like it was like really like before we got back into sort of the main highway. It was kind of like that where we had to like we're like, oh wow, there's like this is like way more rural. Like I didn't know Arizona like sort of got like that until I started touring. So yeah, it was really interesting out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have like yeah, they have a lot of deer, like mountain lion, like there's a lot of like wild animals out there. Yeah, out here it's yeah, there's like some deer here and there, but yeah, it's mostly like people's livestock you got to watch out for. Um, but yeah, it's always like kind of like a journey for me to check out a show, like especially like a death metal show. But
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that was I saw you guys with in Flagstaff that day, and that's when I saw you guys and got you guys to like autograph the
Yeah,
Edge of Existence record. And but yeah, that was a sick show too. Um,
yeah,
and then as far as the new album's Boundless Domain, it's the second full-length album. Um, it's gonna come out on June
Mhm.
16th. I read a little like a promo email that it was produced by Killswitch Engage's guitarist Adam Dukowitz.
Yeah,
Yeah, how
yeah.
was that experience? And like how did he like challenge you or make you guys, do things different? If any, like how was that experience?
It was awesome. He's extremely knowledgeable. He's extremely meticulous. He only accepts like the best of the best like possible takes. So it really forced us all to get like better at our crafts personally. So on that tip, it made us definitely better musicians. And then also he just has like a wealth of knowledge about just harmonies and layers and just way things sounds and then tones and stuff like that. So, just using his expertise and just and then applying it to where like things that where we wanted was really awesome. And he was not ever too pushy. He was never like he was very much like this is like y'all's thing. Like, I'm here to like give the best. This is what I think the best ideas. But at the end of the day, like if you guys like don't like it, I'm not here to like make you like something different that you aren't. And it like worked really well. He added a lot of layers, added a lot of harmonies and stuff like that. Helped with some songs on just moving structure, just moving things around, playing things less, playing some things more, stuff like that. So yeah, just little things, just kind of outside from an outside perspective can help a lot on people's music. So yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
grateful for Adam. It's a lot of fun working with him. He's a hilarious guy. He likes to hang out and party, and so do we. And so yeah, he's awesome. He's a fun dude. Loves to bust your balls and fits right in with Creeping Death because we all do the same shit. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, I did get a chance to listen to the album, the promotional copy that was sent out, and yeah, definitely, it does sound different from the Wretched Illusions. I mean, not too much different, but definitely the production is like uh, probably not as not as raw. I think it's probably a little more clean, which was kind of cool. And then um, yeah, and then you guys also got a guest, George Corpse Grinder.
Mhm.
Yeah, did you guys have any other guests in mind, or were you like were you
Nope.
close to getting anyone else on?
Oh, we didn't want anyone else because we were like, well, you have like arguably the most famous, vocalist in metal like on your track. Like where else do you go? So we were just kind of like we've also never been like a feature band. This is the first time we ever had someone else besides Reese sing on a track. So maybe we'll do like one or something like that on each release or something like that if we can find someone who's down. But yeah, we're not really a big, huge like feature band. So yeah, we'll just keep it at one. That's kind of what our thought process was, and we're gonna have one. We want the one to be a banger, so we went for it.
Yeah, that's sick. You guys got a tour this summer. It's a two-part tour, one in June, one in July. I was looking at the dates. The closest for me would be Tucson. That's pretty far though. It's like a 6-hour drive for me. I don't know if I
Oh,
can
oh,
excuse me. I don't know if I could make that. But
all
yeah,
good.
if you're
I
ever
don't
in
blame you.
the like the Flagstaff or Albuquerque area, for sure, I would definitely like hit that up. But yeah, I think Tucson might be a little bit of a
Yeah,
drive for me.
understandable. And I'm sure like we're gonna be touring so much between this year and like next year that I'm sure we'll probably be around that area again.
Yeah, no, I feel like you guys been like touring nonstop. Is this kind of like you guys like full-time gig now, or do you guys still kind of do like side jobs at home?
Yeah, we all still have side jobs when we're at home. I was just telling the last guy I asked about it, and we were like, or I told him that, obviously right now that we have to be able to pay all of our bills, but we would like to get to the point where we didn't have to, or actually I told him we would like to get to the point where if we wanted to work, it would be like our choice because we didn't want to have, 6 weeks of doing absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Um, like it's doing nothing is really cool for like, a couple weeks at a time. But after a while, picking up, I think I would personally just pick up a part-time gig no matter what, just to kind of keep myself busy. Not so, but yeah, right now that's obviously like you have to do it to pay all the bills. But hopefully one day I can get it where I can just work part-time somewhere just to kill the time and have some extra cash and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully we get there.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I'm excited for that new album, Boundless Domain. Everyone should check it out. Like buy the vinyl or CD or tape or but yeah, I appreciate you talking with me, Trey. And yeah, good luck and hope to see you on the road sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, take care.
Peace. Take it easy.